Peeps, thought we'd have a bit of a run through what I picked up last night. Cool cast lawnmower, no idea if it works, not really bothered to tell you the truth. Cheap ass circular saw, what make is it? Pro 15 volt, might have some fun with that later. Stick a battery in and see if it works. What have we got in here? Light fittings, some ceiling roses, old style lead light with the cable cut, with the plug cut off, perhaps that's because it's knackered. Cooker ring, probably been changed. Stapler, I've got loads of staple guns. Oh, lovely. Bag of RAM. Nice. Nice. 15 quid a kilo. Can't grumble at that. Little metal funnel, probably for a petrol lawnmower back in the day. Hair dryer. See if that works. Comes in handy for painting little projects in the garage. If you warm them up beforehand. An old, well, it looks like it was an old Black & Decker to start off with, but it says Precision. Some no-name brand. There we go, yeah. All new in the packet. Lord of the Rings Plates 2. A collection, this collection is a Danbury Mint exclusive. 1581 serial number, exclusive of 2000 of them. Picked these up last night. And that's that Egoist, I don't know. I hardly watch the films, to tell you the truth. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 collectible plates. Mustn't grumble. 1.5 ton bottle jack. They come in handy. Lots and lots of brass mixed with steel piping. Looks like an old army duffel bag. Might give that a wash. I do like ex-army stuff, as you may have noticed from a few earlier videos. What else we got in here? Oh, loads of big old heavy brass. I'll have a weigh up of that later, see what that comes to. There's probably the bag, weighs a good 10 kilos, but there's a lot of steel in there, so let's have a look. Old microwave, very old microwave. Could be copper, can't really tell from the weight because it's rusty and after the insides are falling out. It's been sitting in the garden for a long time. Yeah, what else did we get? BMW grills. Better than Bear Grylls. As the old YouTube message says, it's difficult to do with one hand. Oh, they're in good nick. Very good condition. What do we say? BMW front grille 381, E82, 87, E88, 2008 on gloss black, new version. Oh right, okay, so these are the old ones. Someone fitted gloss black grills. Put the old ones back in the original box, lobbed them out. I'm sure they'll go on eBay for $5 or something. Big pile of cable. Found another couple of other lawnmowers, cut them cables off of them. Didn't really want more than one lawnmower to test out. I haven't even got grass in my back garden, so it's not really worth having. A Proline TV with controls. It was in a bag. If it's got the controls of it, it usually means it's in working condition. Thermostat from a hot water boiler. It's normally got a little box on the end, and you can set the temperature, and it's what turns the electric off in the boiler. Bit of number 2 copper. It's got a sensor down the inside. Picked up this lovely little item as well. A Baywatch windscreen sunshade. Design as illustrated. Who's that? Some young lady in a tat suit. Yeah, try to look good in the windscreen somewhere. Not in my windscreen, no. Don't want to appear sexist, do I? Have the young lady in a bathing suit on my windscreen. Well, that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all this pile of cable. Oh, I've got some bits of a tap as well, so we've got about a kilo of brass there. Another bit of a brass tap, big old everything. I'm going to go through all this lot, cut all the cable down, stick it in my VIR bucket. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a play with this circular saw, because it came with a battery, but the battery was dead and there's no charger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sod about, take the battery apart. It's an old NiCad battery, and I'm going to see if I can't bodge in a lithium ion battery. I might pop down to Lidl's, and they do batteries with battery chargers for about 14 quid. They do like 18, 22 volt lithium ions. I'll see if I can get one of them in and get it working. Anyway, I'm going to get back to you later, peeps. I'm going to strip all this stuff out and we'll have a look at the end of it and see what I've got. I've probably got about, I don't know, 3-4 kilos of VIR there. The TV I'll test out at a later date because I have to run an extension lead out to my garage because I haven't actually got one. I also picked up a Star Wars bin. Rise of Skywalker. That's the latest video out. Somebody else didn't like it. They're throwing their bin away. And you know me, I'm a sucker for a bit of Star Warsian collectibles, as well as Lord of the Rings apparently. Anyone who likes Lord of the Rings and they're in the Hertfordshire, Essex, London borders who wants them, give us a message. They're yours, you know, nothing. Same me trying to give them away and then throw them away afterwards anyway. I'll see you in a bit, peeps. Right then, peeps, this is the contents of that green duffel bag, like the army bag. I can't believe there was some really old stuff in there. These taps are old style. I mean, the bag smelt like it was from the 60s, and yes, you can smell what year they come from. I grew up with smelling bags like that going through people's sheds back in the 70s. Bits like this is from a car. This is a brake line piece. Splits off, comes from the master cylinder, bolts to the bulkhead, 3 lines go out. And yet there are old, this is for an old cooker tap with a bayonet fitting, I think. Pushes in there, locks in place. Or from a gas fire, probably sat on the floor like that. Again, another piece from a car. There was odds and sods pieces in there. There's hinges, brass hinges. Another old water tap. Don't see them like that anymore. They just don't use them like that anymore. Somebody's attempted to block off a water pipe, just smashed it flat, screwed that on the end, probably where they've taken out a radiator, judging by the size of the pipe. Another one of those bayonet fittings. You see, you push it in and twist to lock it, probably from a gas fire because it's chromed, which means it's meant to be on show. Just lots of strange things in here. It's not like it was just a plumber's, because there was base plates for car points from a distributor. If any of our older viewers know what that is from a fuel injector, or that is actually from a diesel fuel pump, I would say. That's the return pipe with the banjo union. That's a brass fitting. So it was just a big bag of brass. I mean, look at that little tap. That's an old one there. You wouldn't use that nowadays. You wouldn't find that nowadays. They wouldn't sell it. There's no reason for it to be bulbous like that, apart from the fact it's got a ball valve in it, which is old design. There was keys. So, you know, bits of copper pipe. At first glance, it looked like it was a plumber's bag. Then there was things like this. I mean, how old's that plug? Christ, that's ancient. That thing is. With the round pins, that's 1950s. So, you know, things like brass brackets. Quite a lot of brass in there. I mean, that tap's from a different pickup. All this stuff, generally, apart from that tap, was from that one bag. I've got things like this I've got to strip off. This is mainly steel, but these are brass, so I'll take them off. It's just a weird thing to find. It wasn't a plumber's bag as such, because it had a lot of car parts in it. There was spark plugs in there, wheel nuts from vans and cars. Lots of bits and pieces like that, which I'll strip down and I'll give that a rub down, put it in as number 1 copper, put the rest in as brass, as usual. No idea what that is. It was just odd, because it's usually you find things like this and they're either from a car, and everything's from a car, or everything's from a plumber. You very rarely find a bag where it's full of plumber's bits. There was also covered hinges in brass in there. It was almost like it was someone's brass collection, and then they've just thrown the bag out. It was out with that lawnmower. You know, bits and pieces like this. This is from a gas. This is where a gas pipe would come through. Actually, that's the fitting, isn't it? That's from a gas fire. That is. It's the floor fitting where the gas pipe comes up for a gas fire in your front room. Like your nan probably used to have an old gas fire in the front room. There's stuff like brass hinges, which is, you know, carpentry, woodwork. It's just weird. Usually when you find stuff like this, I mean, there's a lot of car parts in there, so it was almost like it was a mechanics, but a lot of the fittings are not for cars, so who knows. Anyway, it's a big old pile of brass, judging by the weight of the table. Well, I've got to weigh them taps, but I'd say there's about 3 kilos there of brass, so getting on for a tenner, can't grumble. Anyway, I'm going to clean this up and I'll get back to that, peeps. Ta-da. Okay then, peeps, I can get this up a bit, there we go. So we'll have a bit of a fiddle with this Pro 18 volt circular saw. It's just a cheap piece of crap. Don't know where Pro's from. I've had drills from them, they work fine, but they're not particularly brilliant. So anyway, what I did was, this is the battery I got with it was totally dead. So I took the battery off the bottom. It was just a NiCad battery, nickel cadmium. It was totally dead, 0 volts. There was no charger with it. So I took the bottom of the battery off, pulled the cables out, and I've put ring terminals on the end of the cable. I don't know why I take them up, because I've just made hard work for myself getting the tape off. Anyway, yeah, I've got these ring terminals on the end. They were the only terminals I could find. What I did was, I went down to Lidl's and I bought one of their Parkside 20 volt batteries. I got this on a manager's clearance. They have a sale on a Thursday with loads of stuff on it. If you go in over the weekend following it, they've usually got stuff where people have broke the boxes open. I got this and a charger for $9.99, and I got a 4 amp version. This is the 2 amp version. Yeah, this is the 2 amp version. I also got the 4 amp version. I paid, the 4 amp version didn't come in a box, it was just taped up. I got that for $9.99, and this came with the box broken open. I got this and a charger for $9.99 and a 4 amp version. Now I haven't got any Parkside batteries, so it was a bit of a risk getting it, because they don't fit anything I've got. They don't fit my DeWalt's, they don't fit, well, anything I've got. They don't fit the Stanley range either. But the reason I put these ring terminals on is, if you can see, that says positive, that says negative, and these ring terminals slot in and are quite secure in the battery. Yeah, they don't, I mean, they do pull out, but they're, you know, because of the way the little springs are in there, the little spring inside the battery goes through the hole in the middle, so it sits in there quite well. So I figured what I'd do is, I would gaffer tape, obviously. Always need some gaffer tape. Now obviously you've got to take this off every time you want to charge the battery. But, you know, needs must when the devil drives. And I haven't got a circular saw to work on my camper with. So there you can see I've just taped those wires down, so they're a bit safe-ish. And then the old plate from the old battery just fits on top. Cable tie, because gaffer tapes and cable ties make everything better. These cable ties are removable. They've got a little tab you can pull. Now, are they long enough? Just about long enough. There you can see. Now that battery is plugged in to the stem of the old battery, which you then hopefully, oh, it won't do because I've got to move the cable tie out of the way. That will just plug up the poop chute of the saw, and Of course that's not in there that well, so I may put another cable tie around it, a slightly longer one, because it doesn't lock in, because these locking tabs would lock onto the battery. But £9.99 from Lidl's, free from the scrap. Circular saw, so I can work on the camper van. So there you go, £9.99 circular saw. Chances are the circular saw probably only cost like £29.99 in the first place, and it's not the best saw in the world. But for £9.99, and I can use the battery on loads of other things by doing a similar hack. Sorted. Ta peeps.